Brian. All right. Just went live on the YouTube side. Welcome in, Clipper Nation. Just want to see if we're good here with the audio. Was chatting it up with Katie Newton, our producer, back in the bank. Excited for tonight. Intuit Dome, home opener, game 1 of the regular season. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see the cord as I flip the laptop around for you. Got Brian Seaman to my right, doing an interview pregame. Just put out the tweet at follow Adam A, showing off the beard. Let me know if you guys are plugged in and I'm good and plug this thing in right, please. If you can hear me, holla if you hear me. I'm excited to be here. Not as excited as Carlo Jimenez with his name tag over here. Look at Big Brother Jake. Look at that nickname. And look at that name tag. Nickname would be Carlo Jimenez. I'm guessing you guys got me. Elijah, Jordan. What up? I saw Jordan Miller putting up some shots a little bit earlier. Mo Haseen said hi, Adam. Drip Galore said all good. Oh, we are good now. Joe Villa said hello. Mo said loud and clear. It's going to get louder, trust me. I'm only being quiet right now because Brian's team is doing an interview to my right. Sounds great. Well, that's all Big Brother Jake Warner. Shout out, big bro. I guess, yeah, honored to be a part of history tonight. Obviously, we had a preseason home opener, but this is for real. This goes on record. Should probably find my rundown. I am excited for Clipper Nation. William Blast confusing me by saying peace, Adam. Always think he's leaving, but that's his hello greeting. Drip Galore says, let's get this win. Go Clips. I wonder if there's another avenue I should tweet out. Or not tweet out, but post that like we have the live show going behind the scenes. All I can think is Twitter right now, but I guess I could do it on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know how effective that would be. Just too many places, Katie Newton says. Looking for a 1-0 start to the season. Yes, sir. Did not see Stephen A. Smith, thankfully. He's here. Jake probably talked to him. No? Just text him, huh? Are you guys beefing because it's Dodgers-Yankees?
Oh, no, we're not beefing at all. And he picked the Yankees, so they're going to lose.
Damn it.
But, no, it's all love with he and I. He's just a busy man, you know?
Maybe I should try to pick the Dodgers, jinx them the other. I don't know.
You
I
won't
need some
do it.
black magic. They're too good. There is no jinx. There could be no jinx. They got Ohtani. They're loaded.
I see what you're trying to do right now, Adam.
Who could beat this team? I mean,
I see what you're trying to do, Adam. It's not going
It's
to work.
impossible
It's not,
task.
you better stop. It's not going to work, bro.
it's all about the Mariners anyways, right, Katie? Oh, now she acknowledges it. If you know I'm a Giants fan, then you know who I'm rooting for.
Yep.
Sorry, chat. A little baseball talk here. The World Series starting on Friday.
Yay.
Kind of a big deal. Yay.
Kind of.
At least we don't get, well, we'll get taken over. I'm guessing, so is it 2-2-3?
It's 2-3-2.
2-2-2-3-2, yeah. Unlike the NBA.
Dodgers in 7.
And 7, you're going to be sweating it.
That's okay. I've been having gut issues the whole time, Adam.
Got an ulcer from this
A
team?
little bit. With some heart palpitation action.
I got an ulcer one year, but I think it was just from too much black coffee in the morning on an empty stomach. Way too much.
Was that 2021 season? Right?
Yeah. Tell me Kawhi's out?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some things have not been able to change for this team.
Sky's blue, water's wet. Kawhi is not starting or playing at all.
It's disappointing, Clipper Nation, I understand, but let's enjoy the guys who are out there as I see Big Zoo walking onto the floor. Something I'm interested in, and it happened early on pregame. Kai Jones was at the typical home basket, at least for the 2 preseason games where guys were shooting around, and then they switched. and they have stayed switched where the Clippers are closer to the road team's bench with Phoenix. And I'm wondering if the Phoenix Suns have elected to start on the Clippers side, which means in the second half, they would be going up against the wall. They may have chose poorly if that was the case. I don't know for sure, but the road team, I'm learning things too, was able to choose which side of the floor they want to start on. So I don't know why, if they're shooting on that side, they wouldn't start the game on that side as Bradley Beal has some headphones on, hoist the three on the left wing, straight down the strings. I think Clipper Nation might be in business. I think the Suns are going to be going up against not just the Clippers defense, but the wall in the second half. I really hope that's the case. All right.
Figured out your problem? I'm gonna go right now and check it out because we got 5 minutes before Mitch is gonna start his show and I want to listen to it. Mitch Burrell, this is our warm-up act this year.
So, Katie, Coach Lou first, and then the longer mix. And I sent you the stuff. How many miles did I get in today? Only 2, Michael Torres. I was going to go for 5, but I got a late start because I was podcasting earlier with Bob Schmidt, the voice of AM 570. If you guys want to check that out, it's in the live section. Previewing tonight's contest, talking about Mark Price taking a shot at Kawhi Leonard. That was very unnecessary, unwarranted. Didn't like that. Had to shorten the workout. By the way, we're on AM 570 LA Sports tonight. When the Dodgers are not on, that's where we will be. When they are, the Patriot AM 1150. And always on the app, and at least pre and post here on the YouTube side. Michael Torres said 2 more miles than me. We all got to start somewhere. I did get my 10 in, though, a couple of days ago. I'm feeling good. The ankle feels fully healed after the marathon where there was just a little bit of soreness. I mean, it happens, right, Jake? That's why I got the gold medal that he gave me.
You are a medal winner.
Nobody else respects it. A lot of people are like, oh, a treadmill. It's like, dude.
No. 26.2 miles is 26.2 miles. Treadmill, terrain,
Thank you.
outer space. You did it.
You told me also, like, treadmill, there's nothing to see. You're not actually going
to me,
anywhere.
It's mentally harder to do a marathon on a treadmill. Yeah, it's hard to run and look at the same 4 walls.
I had the testicular fortitude to make it.
Yes, you did. I'm proud of you, Adam.
I mean, I was watching stuff on my phone and listening to music, but
and even then that gets hard.
It was. I forgot. I should have shown the picture. I saw it today when I was on the same treadmill, and it says like no longer than 30 minutes on these treadmills. I should have showed that after I was done.
Add another 5 hours today.
I know. I wouldn't. There were 2 of them, and I was taking up 1, so there was still 1.
Yeah, there was 1 left. But no, that's props to you, man, because doing it on a treadmill is extremely difficult. I've done 3 marathons and
all LA.
All LA marathons, and He might.
I can't swim. Sharks. Even then,
That's a
I
lot.
start thinking about it. Even in
Triathlon.
a doughboy, I get scared.
I can't swim that long. That's a long time to swim. I could do the bike. I could do the running, but the swim is what would get me every time.
Clipper Nation almost starting here. Seconds away. Welcome to Clippers Countdown, and welcome home, Clipper Nation, for Game 1 at Intuit Dome, the grand opening of the greatest arena in sports and the best place on earth to watch a basketball game, where you have a chance now to create an atmosphere, a culture here, a new standard for what it means to be a Clippers fan, and where you can develop a home court advantage that opponents won't forget, they will fear. Make them dread having to come to Intuit Dome. And while it is a new place with some new faces on the team, the expectations remain the same, according to Coach Lou. I know one thing, the Clippers have enough of that oh so familiar underdog mentality once again, as they've seen the predictions from the quote unquote experts, and they are looking to prove everyone wrong. In a nationally televised game against one of the best teams in the West, it's the perfect opportunity to start to do just that tonight. Tip time from Intuit Dome between your Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns is just about 60 minutes away. Coming up on the show, Farbod S. and Shari will be here from SI Now, but up next is your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Did they not change out? Was that a new open, Katie? We're supposed to have a new open. There was like no music bed. Can you ask Brian? Yeah, and Brian, because Bob said he stayed up all night working on stuff. So
His Fernando tribute was amazing.
oh, I didn't hear it.
Oh, it's really good. Like it gave me like tears. Saxon Keats.
You shouldn't have to.
Double A, how we doing? What up, Katie? What up, Katie? What up, Clipper? Guys, Adam did a 2.5-hour Clippers live last night. Do we know that? Is he okay?
I did some play-by-play on the Lakers game.
Did you? Let's go. Yeah, Adam, you should just live stream life. That'd be fire.
That's what they tell me.
Like the Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman Show. Well,
That's exactly what I've been talking about. Ed TV.
I get behind that.
Quick note, y'all. I'm signed to Mount Sac through spring of 2026.
Woo!
Just found out right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
Jake.
did everyone in the live stream.
Thanks
Yeah,
a lot,
Congrats to
Jay.
Big Brother Jake Warner,
Yeah, big bro.
The
Big
prop.
bro. Big bro.
the professor.
Yes, sir.
That track to tenure is looking good.
I'm hoping.
Should I
Oh.
scoot over?
Yeah, why don't you bring your ass over here?
Oh,
Make
I
it
love when you
intimate,
tell me
y'all.
what to do.
Come on.
Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome in Game 1 to open up the regular season. Tip-off just 57 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach in Teron Liu, but joining the show right now is your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, my guy, how we doing?
Adam, we are doing so good. We had the warm-ups here. We had the rehearsals. But let's do this thing, huh? Intuit Dome, Clippers' new home. We can't say it enough. I'm doing great. I'm next to you, and the Clippers are playing the Phoenix Suns. What could be better?
Yeah, a win tonight maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I guess we got to wait a couple of hours for that possibility, but
You gonna help us out with that?
I'll do what I can. I think the
Okay.
people at the wall are definitely going to help
Yes,
out
they are.
tonight.
Yes, they are.
I have an inkling that the Phoenix Suns may be shooting at the wall in the second half, considering where both teams have been warming up pregame.
That is a great point, actually. Usually, the last two games it's been flipped, but have the Suns maybe forgotten about the wall? I don't know. They're not going to forget it when the game starts.
No, they'll choose wisely on October 31st when they're back here on Halloween, should they deal with the wall tonight. Let's go back a little bit. Obviously, we've done a couple of these shows and a few of these topics during the preseason, but I just played sound from Coach Liu talking about without Paul George, without Kawhi for now, the expectations are still to win ball games, and they've built this defensive ball club right now with this Clippers team that can really get after it and slow down the opposition.
Yeah, the goal of this team, Adam, is to muck things up, to create chaos, to make it hard on the offensive end, and they do that by getting their hands in the passing lanes. They're one of the best all preseason. Law Murray put this out on Twitter. I'm sure you've talked about it, but the Clippers second best defense in the first half of preseason games. So you want to maybe gauge something. Obviously, we can't say preseason is end all be all, but I think that's a good sign, Adam, when you consider how good this Clipper defense can be. Most teams will play the starters in the regular rotation in the first half. The Clippers finishing second in defense among those teams. It's a great sign, and I'm excited to see how the Clippers attack a Phoenix team, Adam, that has some great point guards handling the basketball. Really two strengths going at it today.
Of course, some of the guys the Clippers brought in, they brought back Nico Batum, a beloved Clippers legend already. Derrick Jones Jr., the guy who put the clamps on Paul George in the first round for the Dallas Mavericks just last season, and Chris Dunn. So they have guys who are great individual defenders, and then they have the defensive coordinator in Jeff Van Gundy to organize it all. I like what we're seeing here.
Jeff Van Gundy, a mastermind on the defensive end, really leading this team in their scheme, something they're implementing. I think we have to give the Clippers a little bit of time to really make sure they're locked in on that defensive side. I know James Harden talked about on Media Day how they've been working on that defensive side of the ball for about a month and a half before preseason started. But again, this is a Clippers defense that is going to evolve, that is going to get more comfortable, and you can practice it as many times as you want in a gym and a shoot around in preseason. But when it comes to the real thing, when teams are scouting against it, that's a whole nother ball game. So for what I'm interested to see, Adam, how much of this Clippers defense scheme is in place today, and how well do they execute on that side of the basketball?
On the other side, offensively, Norman Powell has been injected into the starting lineup. This is something that he has wanted for some time now. Started with the Portland Trail Blazers a lot, but with the Clippers, he's been that sixth man. Now he's going to get more minutes, you would expect, and a larger offensive opportunity to really show what he can do.
Yeah, as B. Shaw put it perfectly, and as every Clipper fan has said, he's getting what he wants right now, getting that starting role. Something, Adam, he was excellent at in his time in Portland. Historically has been a good starter, but for some reason, with the Clippers, struggled a little bit with that start. With Norm in the starting lineup, I believe the Clippers are 3-13 when Norm starts. So we'll see if he can get back to maybe the Portland roots, maybe with this new lineup, with this new personnel. Norman Powell slots in a little bit better. I wouldn't be surprised, Adam. I'd love to get your opinion on this. How much is Norm playing? Yes, he's starting games, but do we see him come out for 3 minutes into the first quarter and get back to maybe that punch off the bench for the Clips.
That familiar role. And we heard that from Coach Lou during the preseason, that maybe he let the cat out of the bag a little bit. He's talking about his starting lineup when he said, we'll bring Norm back with the second unit with Ivica Zubac a little bit earlier. So I'm with you. I could see at the 5-6 minute mark of that first quarter, Norm Powell comes in, then returns with that bench unit to give them some support. It's going to be interesting watching the rotations, the different lineups from the chiropractor in Coach Lou, as he's always making adjustments out there. Somebody that's getting back to to a place they are very familiar with as well would be James Harden. In just that role of orchestrating the offense, being the floor general, and having more of a green light offensively like he did back in his Houston days. He is very comfortable being the leader, being the guy you are dependent upon to get your offense in row and get your ducks in a row out there and make sure everybody is moving station to station in the right way. I'm excited to see what he can do now at the age of 35 with so much on his shoulders offensively with this Clippers team.
He is the mastermind behind this offense and the mastermind behind getting everybody involved. Mike Budenholzer, the new head coach for the Phoenix Suns, called him the ultimate quarterback when it comes to basketball. You know, we're not obviously in an NFL setting, but the way he's able to pick apart the defense, make the right play, and he's really been a leader, Adam, and I think that's a very noticeable difference for this Clipper team. Even after shoot around today, him and Kai Jones going through some pick and roll work, going over, if this guy helps, where am I going to look for you for a pocket pass? James Harden understands not only his responsibility, but the opportunity that comes with this responsibility. He can get back to that all-star level numbers-wise that he knows he's capable of because he has the green light to do anything he wants on the offensive end for the Clippers.
Someone else with an expanded role now offensively, and it may be new for him, Ivica Zubac. Looks to be more featured so far this season. Obviously, he'll be catching a lot of passes from James Harden. We saw a glimpse of this really working to perfection for about a month and a half when the Clippers were really rolling last season before Zoo went out with that calf injury, where you saw the chemistry building with him and James Harden, the bearded wonder. Interested to see now with the training camp between those two being able to work on the pick and roll, just how quickly it develops this year.
Yeah, I can't imagine, Adam, more time with James Harden means less comfortability. Clearly, they're going to have some sort of increase in how comfortable they are, knowing where each other are, knowing where James Harden likes to throw the ball to Ivica Zubac. And look, Ivica Zubac, I think, felt a little bit of that burden early in preseason. I remember after the Dallas game, he was asked by Shane Young, who you had on Clippers Talk recently, you know, how does Ivica Zubac look right now? Does he look like he's rushing? And Ty Lue was honest. He said it's not looking good for Big Zoo in the paint. So the question can be, can Ivica Zubac feel that pressure to perform, but still perform the way he has? Maybe in the past, whenever he have good games, we as a media would say, well, look how great Zoo was. Wasn't that special? When in reality, for this team to be successful, he needs to be that kind of special night in and night out for this Clipper team. We'll see how he becomes comfortable in that role as the season and tonight goes on.
Yeah, really, if the Clippers are going to be successful, he has to be a mainstay. It's no longer an option to get Ivica Zubac, Big Zoo involved. It has to be consistent. It has to be in the first quarter, second, third, and fourth, where he's getting touches and getting in that deep post position that at times he struggled just figuring out, getting on the same page with his teammates in the preseason. We'll see what happens. And then off the bench, backing him up would be Kai Jones, who really became a star and a fan favorite for this Clippers team, getting that last two-way contract. The fans love Sky Jones. We've talked about him a ton in the preseason. He became one of the biggest stories.
He did. He had 17 dunks in that preseason, Adam. A high flyer for this Clipper team. Great job rebounding the basketball, blocking the basketball. And as we look ahead towards this Phoenix matchup, I think he's got an opportunity to play bigger minutes against a team like the Phoenix Suns when you consider a Mason Plumlee and a Bol as their backup bigs off the bench. So excited to see Kai Jones continue to get better. I thought it was so interesting, him talking about how he's supposed to set screens, what he's been working on this offseason with Jay Larranaga, where he's dribbling the basketball and then Jay's giving him math equations to respond to him as he's dribbling to try to get some of that playmaking ability back. A true 5, probably for the first time in his NBA career. We'll see if he is able to perform at a high level. But if anything, Adam, he gives the Clippers a vertical threat on that offensive end, something they haven't had in a long time. And when you think about Derrick Jones Jr. and Kai Jones on the same team, those are two guys who can extend your defense vertically on that side of the ball.
Some high flyers for the Clippers tonight as they take on the Phoenix Suns in Game 1 of the regular season. Tip-off just 49 minutes away here at Intuit Dome, Clipper Nation. He's Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up next, Carlo's got his one-on-one conversation with the head coach and Tyronn Lue. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Super chat. Did you just get a dono?
Thanks, Jay. I'll split the $2 with you, Carlo.
No, please. We are sliding. 642.
Clipper Nation, we got more pregame for you.
Let's go.
Game's a little bit delayed. I haven't even checked on that. Is it the Bucks Philly game?
Yeah. Philly, man.
Philly, man. Katie, you got Carlo with Coach Lou?
Sorry, they didn't give me a lot of time to do it.
Take what we can get. Maybe I should have clipped my question too and packaged it all
Yeah,
together.
we could have, honestly. Good question.
Thank you. That was interesting. He said that DJ told him that's my shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't taken like that long of a mid-range. I think the one he took maybe in Seattle, I can't remember. It was like a 19-footer. Justin Russo went to the numbers and saw like he hadn't taken that shot in like 3 years or something like that.
Wow.
A long two like that.
Yeah.
Is Jordan in here? Guys, unfortunately, I don't know if Jordan's going to be in here. I can't, the circular pretzel logic. Like Jordan kept going back to the same thing. I gave him credit for KPJ. It still wasn't enough. I don't know if you're going to see him in here. I wish him well, though. But it was getting a little uncomfortable for me. Yeah, what happened to Baby Chuck the Condor? And who is Baby Chuck the Condor?
That was a front wave thing. That's their mascot.
Oh, that's the San Diego.
Yeah.
Clippers and Phoenix Suns tipping off just 46 minutes from now here at Intuit Dome. Game number 1. Just day 2 of the NBA season getting underway. But game 1 for your Los Angeles Clippers here in an 82-game regular season. This time it counts. And they're taking on a pretty stiff rival in the Phoenix Suns that has been a thorn in the Clippers' side, taking them out in the playoffs 3 different times. 2 times where I'd say the Clippers were undermanned and they weren't able to give their best shot. So I know how you feel about the Phoenix Suns tonight, Clipper Nation. Pre-game show going on right now. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come. We'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, we're going back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. There was Coach Lou pregame talking with Carlo Jimenez. I also, at the media scrum, asked Coach Lou about something that has been developing in the preseason. It's Derrick Jones Jr. getting into his midi, something he hasn't been doing for years, going back to his last couple stops in the NBA. But we saw it from DJJ. Airplane mode was very successful in the mid-range in the preseason. So I asked Coach Lou, are there things you're still finding out about him on the offensive end now with him in the building in a Clippers uniform? And Coach Lou said he told us that's in his bag. That's his shot, the mid-range, Derrick Jones Jr. So interesting to see where the numbers line up with that as we go along this season and just how efficient he can be in the mid-range, which some people would say is the least efficient shot in the NBA. It just depends how good you are at it. But Derrick Jones Jr. has not been taking that shot very often, but was in the preseason. We'll see how that goes tonight against the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off just 43 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up, as we are live on AM 570 LA Sports and on the YouTube side, Richard Heacock said, Adam, where's your guy Mason Plumlee? I actually talked with Big Plum for a second earlier today as he was walking by. I just said, Big Plum. He said, hey, what's up? He still has love for Clipper Nation. He hasn't forgot about you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Pregame, more of it coming up next. Tonight, the Clippers open up the Intuit Dome against the, I don't want to say hated, but a hated rival, you'll say. In the sports term, hated. Yeah, that way. Taking on the Phoenix Suns. I'm Adam Oslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Old Dirty Dasher asking, how you guys wear suits if you're on the radio? I mean, to look professional. If you're at a sales job and you're on the phones cold calling all day, you're likely still in a suit. I don't know. Maybe nowadays you just zoom in. Kate Newton, our producer back in the bank, sweats, t-shirt, bumming it. Sometimes he, Kate Newton, dog mama for all. Ooh, she's got Clipper sweatpants on though, guys. Big, if true. I don't know the last time she's tweeted anything out. Producer Katie? I tweeted something at you the other day, actually. Amir Ahmad says, Derrick Jones midi. You laugh now. We'll see. Might not be so funny for the Phoenix Suns. I mean, it looked good in the preseason. He had a bucket in the mid-range in Seattle. We got multiple angles of it on the television side because I wasn't there. And he looked smooth with that mid-range step back. I was waiting to ask Coach Lou about that. Jay said, fun thought. The new rebrand is centered around a ship. Condors are the biggest flying birds. I see you, Steve. Let's go Clippers. T-Man and Zoo about to eat. More opportunities for them this season, that's for sure. C's said, happiest time of the year. Basketball is back. The Clippers are back. Joe Rosenfeld said, drop defense coverage by the Suns is going to leave the mid-range open all game. Yeah, they typically do that with Coach Bud. They play the analytics there. I don't expect Yusuf Nurkic to be better than Brook Lopez in that role.
I think I'm going to have to get some. Shout out to the Swell. What's up, Swell?
Into a dome. It was God's plan. 6 years in the making, or 46, depending on how you look at it. The Clippers are finally home. Clipper Nation, get comfortable here, as we are just 40 minutes away from tip-off here at Into a Dome. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns in Game 1 of the regular season. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we'll get to your player to watch. Farbod Essenshari will also be here from SI Now. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back 10 years to August 12th of 2014. We always start off every year with this sounder. At the time, Marvel's first Guardians of the Galaxy was #1 at the box office, and obviously the best one. On the radio, the band Magic had a song out called Rude. It was pretty good. Why you gotta be so rude? And the Clippers were making a change for the better at the ownership position. Here are just some of the highlights from Steve Ballmer's memorable and high-energy introductory press conference.
Oh, the jacket, sir. The jacket, sir.
You know, the way Steve Ballmer was talking about the hardcore Clippers back in 2014, I feel like this team is emblematic of that style. They have that identity. They can be a hardcore defensive juggernaut, a pest that makes life miserable, especially for any opponent that dares to face them here at Intuit Dome, where the Phoenix Suns are in the Lions' Den tonight. The door locked behind them. They're trapped, and tip-off is just 38 minutes away. Clippers and Suns here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up next, we'll get to your player to watch right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
$60 and more. Register at
I need one of the red jackets. Like the security? What's my go-to meal before the broadcast? Earlier today, I had an Italian hoagie. But that was like way earlier. Then the rest of the day, I just have 2 protein bars. By the end of it, I'll be famished. Maybe I'll do a Clipper stock after dark later tonight, and then order some terrible food from Taco Bell or McDonald's. You guys seem to like that. Quentin Cornett says, Mr. Adam, I'm 52 years old and been a Clips fan since the 84-85 season. You know nothing about that. I don't appreciate you calling me a casual. When did I call you a casual? And what were you talking about? I have no frame of reference here, Quentin. You're going to have to help me out. And it's all in good fun. Quentin, I love you. You're right. You're an OG of Clipper Nation, but I still don't know what you're referencing. What did you say? What did I say? We have some fun in here. Taco Bell later. If you're at the game, Quentin, come say hi. Section 25. Appreciate you. Okay, I did have a Cheez-It Tostado recently. That's a lot of Cheez-It. That's a big-ass Cheez-It. Remember the Bernie Mac show, the big-ass donut? I knew Jake. I knew Jake would remember. I love Bernie Mac. Also, the best part of Transformers, the Michael Bay one, was him, the car salesman at the beginning. I throw a rock at your head. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip time just 35 minutes away. Here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back. Welcome home. The Dome is home, Clipper Nation. Coming up, we got Farbod Essen Shari coming on from SI Now. But before we get to that, I'm watching tonight and all season long the development of the offensive game of Ivica Zubac because I think he needs to average 15 and 10 minimum this year for the Clippers to be successful. And it was kind of shaky in the preseason, a little bit up and down. He's got a pretty solid matchup against Yusuf Nurkic and Mason Plumlee tonight. He can feast. He can eat against those 2 guys if they get him the basketball. If he gets the basketball at his spots where he can do damage. Big Zoo is like that. I want to see him get touches the first 3 of the first 5 possessions, let's say. He and Harden running that pick and roll all night long. The team has to have confidence in him. They have to believe in Big Zoo. They can't win without him, Clipper Nation. He's got to have a big season. It's no longer an option to get Ivica Zubac involved. It is a necessity. It starts tonight against the Suns in what I think is a favorable matchup for Big Zoo to get going. Tip time is just 34 minutes away. Here at Intuit Dome, Clippers taking on the Suns in game number 1. First game ever played here at Intuit Dome in the regular season. History tonight, Clipper Nation. Where were you? Were you at the Dome? Did you get the compass giveaway? Pretty awesome. Coming up next here on Clippers Countdown, I'm Adam Osland, and we'll get to your injury report right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Vamos, Clipper Nation, join us at one of our upcoming Somos Clipper Nation games presented by Modelo and Ticketmaster. Arrive
Quentin, what was the exact trade for Jimmy Butler? What was the trade you proposed? I'm going to have to go to crypto for the Taco Bell menu. Thank you, old dirty dasher. It's just basketball, man. It's just kind of a joke thing, Quentin. It ain't that serious, my friend. But I love that you go back to Derek Smith. Do you go back to Tim Kimpton? Do you go back that far? Do you? Do you? How about that cameo? Okay, what's up with liquid deaths? Because I would think I don't want water in a can. I don't like the aluminum can with water. That doesn't sound appealing to me. It'd have to be carbonated, but I don't. I'm not big on the carbonated stuff. This carbonated water. I know, but I don't like carbon. I like the LaCroix. I don't know. I know they've taken off. I'm not into it. That's what liquid death is about. It's called liquid death, bro. This is just as good as a adios mother. Quentin, what was the trade? Big Zoo, T-Man, and Norman Powell for Jimmy Butler? Yeah, that's a crazy trade, my friend. You're losing the backbone of your defense. Jimmy Butler's about to turn 35. There's a 10-minute timeout. We have some rules here. Ask the other people in the chat, Quentin. It's not just you. Quentin, what's the logic of that trade? Tell me. How are you going to lose all three of those guys and be a better team just because you have Jimmy Butler? They have no depth. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off just 31 minutes away here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslem. This is the official pregame show for your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, we'll have Farbad Essenshari on from SI Now. But first, let's get to your injury report brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. For your Los Angeles Clippers, still no Mo Bamba, still no Kawhi Leonard, both out with knee injuries. Josh Okogie has been ruled out. Good player for the Phoenix Suns. He adds depth for them. He's got a hamstring injury. Damian Lee is probable, also dealing with a hamstring. Grayson Allen, also probable with an Achilles. I would expect him to play. 30 minutes away. Clippers, Phoenix Suns. The wall is going to be lit, as the kids say. I just can't wait to see how loud it gets here at Intuit Dome, Clipper Nation. That's what I'm looking forward to most here. I am very excited. I know you guys are with me. Coming up next, we'll have Farbad Essenshari on, one of your great beat reporters from SI Now. Coming up right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Quentin, I can't please everybody, my friend. But I'm trying to go with realistic trades, and what you proposed is not close to that. We have these rules here. People try to abide by them. The goal is to cultivate better opinions so that everybody can learn something, including me. You say the logic is we have youth and depth, and they need to play. You even said the T-Man contract is tradable. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Quentin. I didn't say they're going to trade him with Ivica Zubac and Norman Powell. That trade doesn't even work on paper. That's over what Jimmy Butler makes. So then you're talking about another guy coming from Miami. You haven't mentioned that part of it yet. See, look at all these people. They're saying I was right to put you in the timeout. What am I supposed to do? I want realistic trade proposals. Quentin, I love you. How about let's workshop it? Because I don't hate the idea of trying to get Jimmy Butler. But here's the thing, Quentin. If Kawhi's not healthy, what are we doing doubling down? What are we doing doubling down? Quadrupling down. Until Kawhi can have a sustained run where he looks healthy, that's the point where you go all in again. But going all in for a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler while giving up two of your younger players that you helped grow and foster here with the Clippers and Big Zoo and Terrence Mann. I don't love that, my friends. Jimmy Butler did take that picture with the emo. Quinn, there's so many things that are wrong with this trade. I just brought them all up, my friend. I love you. Look, we can disagree on the trade. Jimmy Butler's not a replacement. He's 35. He's older than Kawhi. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. I love saying that. I just want to say it over and over again. Intuit Dome, Intuit Dome, Intuit Dome. The palace that Steve Ballmer built. First, he bought the Clippers for $2 billion. Then he spent 1.8 and gave them the best arena in sports. God bless Steve Ballmer. God bless Clipper Nation. Appreciate you guys. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show for your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, I think we'll have Farbod Essentiari on at some point. I don't know if he can find us in the new broadcasting booth, to be honest. Do I see him chatting over in the media section? Could I actually zoom in with the video here on the live stream and find where Farbod Essentiari is? Can you guys light him up on Twitter right now at Farbod Essentiari? I'm guessing he got his name in. It's unique like mine. I could have gone with Adam Osland, but people would still misspell it and spell it L-A-N-D instead of L-U-N-D. Been dealing with that my entire life. Even got a gold medal for running a marathon, 26.2 miles, and they dared to put on there A-N-D. I don't really care. It ain't that serious, bro. It ain't that serious. It is my last name, but I know I'm used to this. I'm desensitized to it. So, Clipper Nation, tonight's the night. You're making history here at Intuit Dome, opening things up the right way. The wall, you guys want to see it on the YouTube side? I'll swing the laptop around. YouTube channel Clippers Talk, if you want to watch and get the visual portion of your pre- and post-game show now. That is an option for you. I'll try to find Farbod Essentiari coming up, but we'll at least get to an NBA look around the league. That's next here on Clippers Countdown. Clippers, Suns, tip-off just 26 minutes away right here. Keep it right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Quinn, just because I said Jordan Miller needs to play doesn't mean you trade all those guys for Jimmy Butler. Again, you said Jimmy Butler is the replacement for Kawhi. Jimmy Butler is older than Kawhi. He's also had an injury history. My guy, just because you've been a Clippers fan longer than everyone doesn't mean that you have better information than everyone. I'm sorry. I'm giving you the respect of seniority here, but it's a bad trade. It just is a bad trade. I have to call it as I see it. What am I supposed to do? Like, no, that's great. No, we're trying to find the best trades. I love you, Quentin. But you're here for a reason. Just because I didn't like this trade doesn't mean I won't like something else you say. Doesn't mean I don't have the respect for you talking about Derek Smith, RIP. Farbod. There's Carlo. If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Farbod's getting lost in here. I'm kind of over it. I don't know where you are. You really don't know? Oh, well. We got Carlo. I'll run over some games for you. What up? What up? Farbod couldn't find us. It's not exactly a needle in a haystack. Quentin, it's not just my opinion. The trade doesn't work. Guy wants me to mute him again. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Tip-off just 23 minutes away. Clipper Nation, welcome back into Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Let's get to a league look around. Your scoreboard updates brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Right now, the Bucks are putting a beat down on the 76ers, who are without their two top guys. You know what? Two of their top three guys, I'm going to say. I'll take Tyrese Maxey over Paul George currently. The Bucks are up 800. It feels like that. They're up 100-81 over the Philadelphia 76ers as the third quarter just ended. Dame Dalla, I told you last night on Clippers Talk on a live, I think he's going to have a big bounce-back season. Damian Lillard has 30 points, and there's still 12 minutes left to play. But the Bucks up by 19 on the Philadelphia 76ers. In Atlanta, it's the Hawks 90, the Nets 85. Trae Young with 18 and 11 assists. 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Hawks by 5. Third quarter action with 4:43 left. The Magic up 85-62 over the Miami Heat. Well, some people want to trade for Jimmy Butler right now. It's Banchero, who's got 28 points. Terry Scary Rozier does have 17, but the Magic, the young Orlando Magic that are going to move up the standings this year in the Eastern Conference, making a bit of a statement in Miami currently. Early fourth quarter, Cavaliers up 107-79. We got some blowouts tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers are up big in Toronto over the Raptors. Evan Mobley out of USC has 23, 7, and 3 blocks. One more for you. Third quarter action, 7 minutes left in Houston. This is of note for Clipper Nation because they need to finish ahead of the Houston Rockets in the standings. Otherwise, OKC will pick swap with the Clippers. You don't want that to happen again, do you? The Rockets lead 75-61 with 7 minutes left in the third. Şengün got paid and is making the Hornets pay. He's got 23, 14, 3 steals. Lonzo Ball with 16 and 7 for the Hornets, but they trail currently by 14. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns tonight here at Intuit Dome. 24 minutes remaining. This is Clippers Countdown until we tip off. Coming up next, Carlo Jimenez, maybe Farbad Esenshari. We'll see what's going on. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. I didn't put it in the trade machine last night.
I didn't know how to find it.
I was looking at you guys over there. I wasn't sure which section to tell you because it is hard to get
Yeah, I didn't know. Joey had a fun point out. It's all good. We're doing it.
come on the pod soon? Will you come on live?
Maybe. It's hard to do. Like, I don't have 30. I have 6. All right, I'll see you back now.
Way to go, buddy. Enjoy that.
I did not put that. Quentin's just talking about things that didn't happen now. I did not put that in the trade machine last night. My guy, can we move? Quentin, let's move on. Let's agree or disagree. It's over, my guy. Nobody in the chat agrees with you. I don't either. You're up. Uh-oh, Carlos taking off the jacket. Oh, my goodness. This guy, putting on a show. You only get this behind-the-scenes action here on Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. I might do a late-night Clippers podcast. But, Quentin, you're making things up. I didn't put that into the trade machine because I already knew it wouldn't work, and it's a bad trade for the Clippers.
Come on, Quentin.
He wanted to trade Carlo.
Yeah, talk to me.
Ivica Zubac, Terrence Mann, and Norman Powell for
LeBron?
a soon-to-be 35-year-old Jimmy Butler.
What?
He says Jimmy's the replacement for Kawhi, even though Jimmy's even older than him and has had his own injury concerns.
So Quentin wants us to have Kai Jones as our starting big.
Yep. let's trade two of the guys that they have fostered for years with Terrence Mann and
for a rental. For a rental. Let me get in here with you.
Brain hurts. Ooh, Uncrustables.
You on?
Baby. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. Tip-off just 21 minutes away. Here at Intuit Dome, I'm Adam Osland, your pre- and post-game host, as we are now joined by your radio voice of the Clippers. Back again. JD's back. It's Carlo Jimenez joining us here on the pregame show. Carlo, any new thoughts since last time I left you? Has anything changed for you? I mean, did you have an epiphany?
Yeah, actually, a lot of things changed. I found a new way to get from our spot to the media dining. That's just one staircase.
Okay.
So I'll show you.
I need to know the route.
Yeah, I'll show you. You can
Did
get
you
there.
use Waze here at Intuit Dome to find it?
You know, actually, there's an app called Find Chuck the Condor, and I just kind of run around and find him.
Is that real? A
No,
scavenger
that's not
hunt for
real.
Chuck?
That's not real.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's not bad. You know, I'm marketing, broadcasting. I kind of, I dip my hand in a lot of things over here. So,
You are multi-talented, including on the broadcast side, including with the analysis as well. Let's talk about this Phoenix Suns team a little bit here. Obviously, they have a big three. They're one of the few teams left with one, depending on how you consider Bradley Beal. If he's healthy, he's a very good player in this league.
Yep.
But he only played 50 games last season. What do you think of the coaching change going from Frank Vogel, just got 1 year after Monty Williams left, to now it would be Coach Bud coming back after leaving the Milwaukee Bucks a couple seasons ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting hire. I feel like Adam Budenholzer has been in every conversation about an opening head coaching job since he left Milwaukee. He's won 50 games in 4 of the last 5 seasons. He's an Arizona native. His father coached high school in Arizona, so maybe it makes sense. Feels like he's got a little bit of ties back to that area. But I'm curious to see, Adam, one thing that Coach Budenholzer does so well, obviously a Pop disciple, 5th best road record all time among head coaches. He knows how to win on the road. This is the first time with this group he's been in this kind of environment, so curious to see how they take that on. But I think what's so interesting about a Kevin Durant and Devin Booker-led team is you got to find a way to get to your team because those guys aren't vocal, right? They're not going to talk to the team. They're not getting in front and talk to everybody. They're going to lead by example with their work. So how does a head coach find their lane in sort of that leading style of your two superstars? That's what I'm most curious about.
Yeah, Coach Bud's interesting. He likes to play the analytics. They give up the mid-range.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but ask Coach Lou pregame with Derrick Jones Jr. showing off some of those middies in the preseason. Will that translate? Does he have more to his offensive game now? Coach Lou said that DJJ told him that's his shot.
Yep.
And then he also said, hey, if the mid-range is open and if you're him or if you're James Harden, we're okay with taking that. I'd love to see James Harden get into his mid-range a little bit tonight against a drop defense like we'll probably see with Yusuf Nurkic now under Coach Bud as that backup or as that main big man.
I got a question for you, Adam. So did you ask that question not only to learn more about Derrick Jones Jr. because you knew the Suns also gave it the mid-range? Was that twofold there? Did you double whammy that? Because if so, that is some high ball knowledge right there. I'm not going to lie.
Some believe I know ball. Others believe I'm a casual. It just depends on who you talk
Casual. Casual. Never heard it. No one should be calling you a casual.
Look, all I know is Derrick Jones Jr. knocked down the first shot for the Clippers in this building in the preseason, and it happened to be in the mid-range.
He did. I cannot argue with any of that. That is pure facts. I think the mid-range is a huge piece of this Clipper team, Adam, because you're not going to live in the mid-range, but if you can make a team respect the mid-range, you open up driving to the lane and shooting the 3-ball. We saw it so much with James Harden. Think back to that playoff series against Dallas. They said, we'll give you the mid-range shot. We're going to pack the paint. We're going to run you off the line. But the minute you start hitting those mid-ranges, well, you can't just live with open mid-range shots all night. Some teams are going to have to adjust, maybe play a little bit up, maybe not have as much help underneath. So I'm really, really excited to see how do the Clippers attack this team in that mid-range? Can you hit the first 3-4 mid-range shots and then really blow it up the defensive scheme for Phoenix?
Who do you think are the 3 guys guarding D-Book, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant for the Clippers from the jump?
I think you have to put Derrick Jones Jr. on Kevin Durant. It feels like a no-brainer. Terrence Mann talked about how he's the head of the snake. Now, that would usually tell you he's going to guard somebody like Devin Booker, but if you're the head of the snake on the defensive end, you're guarding Tyus Jones, right?
Yep.
So then does Norman Powell take on maybe Devin Booker? Do we see a Norm on Booker? Do we see a Norm on Beal? Beal's 6'4", Booker 6'6". I'm not totally sure, Adam, when it comes to that defensive rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if Harden is guarding somebody like Bradley Beal, just because maybe he's not as much of a self-creator for this team as the other two guys. He's going to be more catch and shoot, so James maybe doesn't have to do as much chasing and guarding on the defensive end one-on-one. You got me in a tough spot. Can I ask you the same? I'm
Are
curious.
you calling a friend right now? You're asking me
Yes,
the same?
Yeah. Can
But
I ask you the same?
I think Derrick Jones Jr. and Terrence Mann might switch off a little bit guarding Kevin Durant just to change levels, as Coach Lou would call it, just to mix up coverages, because obviously Terrence Mann is a little bit more stout, and sometimes you see him against those bigger, longer, stronger guys like Kevin Durant, where Derrick Jones Jr. guards the ball a lot. But as you mentioned, Terrence Mann said he is going to be guarding the guy bringing the basketball up the floor. At the point where they get into the front court, does then he switch on to somebody else, I wonder?
I don't know.
We're all learning together what Jeff Van Gundy is going to do with this new defensive strategy, which makes this season and tonight so interesting, because how are the Clippers, this new look Clippers team, going to defend when we know they have to be a top 10 defense for them to get where they want to get to this season, which means the playoffs?
Yeah, they're going to have to hang their hat on the defensive end, be an elite team on that level, going to have to be excellent in transition, forcing a lot of turnovers. I'm curious to see, Adam, how effective they can be on that end of the floor, especially against a Phoenix team. Man, let's look at this Clippers first couple of games. You want to test whether you feel like you're legit or not in a Western Conference where 3 games separated the 6 and the 10 seed last year. You got Phoenix tonight, then you're going to go to Denver, then you're going to go to Golden State, and then you're going to have Portland, and then you're going to have Phoenix again, and then you're going to have Oklahoma City. So you get a lot of home games in there, but you also got a lot of really, really good teams. I think the Clippers, Adam, when they play Oklahoma City here on November 2nd, we are going to have a good feeling about what this team is going to be. Now, we can't put too much stock into it. This is a team that lost 6 games last year in a row and then went 25-6 in a 31-game stretch. But I think we're going to learn a lot about this defense coming up to start the season.
And going back to the Clippers on the offensive end, somebody we didn't talk about much earlier, Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
We know there's a looming suspension possibly from the NBA, but he's out there. He's in warm-ups right now getting ready for this one. And many have said, he's James Harden light. He's a lefty. He can get into his bag in ISO.
Yeah.
He can play make and run pick and roll. I'm wondering if there can be some continuity between the starters and the second unit by having a guy like James Harden running high pick and roll, obviously, with the starters, but then KPJ taking the baton with the backups, and if that can help them get into their sets and just have consistency out there on offense.
Agreed. I think that consistency could be huge for this Clipper team, because then whoever you're plugging and playing, whoever you're starting, if you have to make an adjustment, they're going to know how to play with that certain group of players. Let's also remember, Kevin Porter Jr. is a pure bucket. He's also a passer. This is someone who was top 3 with the Clippers in assists throughout preseason, was excellent sharing the rock. So not only does he have James Harden's scoring ability, light, of course, but he also has some of his passing ability on the offensive end. Kevin Porter Jr., as Ty Lue said, and I think as we've come to realize throughout this preseason, not only does he have to be a big part of this rotation and this team, he needs to for them to be successful. He's got to give you that Norman Powell punch off the bench, where sometimes you're getting 20, 25, but every night you're getting 15 from somebody like KPJ. The Clippers are going to need that production from their bench unit.
When we talk about that second unit, I think Nico Batum is going to provide a lot of stability for them. You just feel comfortable whenever he's out there that you can win those minutes. And obviously, Clipper Nation, well familiar with him. We missed him last season in the Harden trade. Had to be done. But now we get to see him maybe play some big minutes late in the ball game with James Harden, because Nico Batum is absolutely a closer.
He is a closer. Nico Batum, what's interesting, what I love to hear from Ty Lue is he mentioned that Nico cleans up a lot of things that you don't, me and you, maybe the regular basketball minds who don't know the scheme, the defense-wise. Not saying we're casuals. I'm just saying we don't know what the defensive scheme is where they go out there. I don't know if this guy's supposed to help as much or this guy's supposed to hedge as hard on a screen. But Nico cleans those little things up, those things that maybe the regular viewer doesn't understand, but he makes your defense seemingly mistake-free. So how important is that, Adam, when you got so many new guys in that second unit? I mean, you think about who they're rolling out here today. Chris Dunn, brand new. Kevin Porter Jr., brand new. Kai Jones, brand new. Batum missed last year. And then, of course, one of the longest tenured Clippers in Amir Coffey. So the Clippers have a lot of guys who don't have the chemistry that maybe that starting unit has together. We'll see if they're able to find success, because Nico Batum can be as as Lawrence Frank said, one of the best connectors in the NBA.
Carlo Jimenez is on the call. We're just about 12 minutes away from tip-off here at Intuit Dome. Game 1 to open up the 2024-2025 NBA regular season for your Los Angeles Clippers. They're taking on the Suns. Your keys to victory are coming up next right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Fire segment.
Guys, stop arguing. Let's move on. Please, guys. We're all in Clipper Nation. I got you, Kitty. Sorry. We moving on from the Jimmy Butler trade thing. We're done. We're done with that. We have moved on. One more segment for you here on the YouTube side, and then I'll be back post-game as soon as the game is over. Does that work for you guys? Good to see you. Whew. I did wave, Reptilian. Reptilian James. I don't know. Is this guy a Laker fan? Do we got to put him in timeout? I'm just kidding. You guys want to see the pregame warm-ups? Big Zoo backing down on Kobe Brown there. Left-handed hook. Light work. All right, one more segment for you here on Clippers Talk on YouTube, and then we'll be back post-game for you guys. We're taking calls later tonight. Hey, Katie, have you tried the phone? That means no. Clipper Nation, welcome back into Intuit Dome for Game 1 of the regular season. Your Los Angeles Clippers are taking on the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Coming up, Carlo Jimenez is on the call. But first, let's get to your keys to victory. Clippers defense is all about getting stops and getting their offense out and running. They got to score more in transition this season. Last year, they were about 14.8 points per game in fast break points. This season, I want to see them average about 16 points. That would make them a top 5 transition team because we know in half-court sets they could struggle a little bit. It means you also got to take care of the basketball so you can set your defense on the other end. Turnovers were a problem for the Clippers in the preseason. It was underrated because the opposition was turning it over more for the most part, including a game where the Dallas Mavericks had 29 turnovers in Game 1 here at Intuit Dome in the preseason. But the Clippers have to do their part. Take care of the basketball, turn the opposition over, win that turnover battle, and win the possession battle also by crashing the glass. It's been a bugaboo for this team. They simply don't seem to have the personnel to be a great rebounding team. Can they be a solid, average, a slightly above average rebounding team? That would be big for them. And as I mentioned earlier with my player to watch, Ivica Zubac, play through him some early and often. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers and Suns from Intuit Dome, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Love y'all. We'll talk to you guys post-game, all right? Here on Clippers Talk YouTube.